Have you ever just stopped and wondered if the medicine you're taking is 100% the real deal? Well, today we're unpacking a massive change coming to every single pharmacy in Italy that's designed to answer that exact question. Pretty soon, your medicine box is going to get a new layer of high-tech security, and we're going to break down exactly how it works and why it's such a critical upgrade for your health.
It's a really simple question, right? But it's also a super important one. When you pick up a prescription, you're putting your trust in that little box. But with falsified medicines becoming a bigger and bigger problem around the world, that trust needs a serious technological upgrade. And that is exactly what this new system is all about.
So what is this big upgrade? Well, it's a two-part safety system that's being built right into the packaging mandated by EU legislation. And it's set to launch in Italy on February 9th, 2025. You can think of it like a digital shield that's going to protect the entire medicine supply chain, all the way from the factory floor right into your hands. Okay, let's get into it. On the left, you've got the standard box we're all used to seeing. But on the right, that's the future. The first change is something called an anti-tampering device. Basically a seal that makes it obvious if the box has been opened. But the second one, that's the real star of the show, the unique identifier, a special barcode called the data matrix. Now this is not just any old barcode you'd find at the supermarket. The data matrix gives every single box of medicine its own unique digital passport. Yep, that's right. Not just every type of medicine or every batch, but every single individual package. This makes each one completely traceable and pretty much impossible to duplicate inside the system.
So what's actually packed into this tiny square? It's definitely not just a random pattern. It's a super dense bundle of critical information. Let's break down exactly what this so-called digital passport contains.
All right, this slide shows how 5 key pieces of data all work together. You've got the product code, which identifies the specific medicine. You have the AIC code, which is the official authorization number from Italy's Medicines Agency. Then, of course, the batch number and expiration date. But the most important part, the real game changer, is that random, up to 20-character serial number. That is what makes this single box truly one of a kind.
And this system is going to have a pretty wide reach. While it covers almost all prescription medicines, it also extends to a handful of over-the-counter drugs that are considered to be at a higher risk of being faked, like certain doses of omeprazole. This just shows you how seriously regulators are taking the threat of counterfeit drugs.
But what happens if a scanner can't read the code for some reason? You know, technology isn't always perfect. Well, the system has a smart little backup built right in. Alongside the data matrix, all the key information is also printed in plain text, what they call human readable interpretation, or HRI. This means a pharmacist can still manually verify the medicine, ensuring that a technical glitch never, ever compromises patient safety. So, we have this unique code, but how does it actually protect us? See, it's not just about the code itself, but about the journey it takes. Let's trace how this all builds into a national verification system that secures your medicine from the factory all the way to the pharmacy counter.
Okay, so it all kicks off when the manufacturer prints the code and uploads it to a central database, essentially activating its digital passport. The box then makes its way through wholesalers and logistics to your local pharmacy. When you go to pick it up, the pharmacist scans it. Instantly, the system checks the database to confirm it's legit. Once it's confirmed and handed over, the code is deactivated. And this is the killer final step. It effectively burns the passport, making it totally impossible for a counterfeiter to copy and reuse that code on a fake product. So clever.
Now, rolling this out across an entire country is a massive, massive undertaking. So how can we be sure it's all going to work smoothly on day one? Well, that's where a huge pilot project comes in. Think of it as a full-scale dress rehearsal for the entire system. Kicking off in January 2026, this pilot is going to be a real-life, end-to-end test. But here's the really smart part. They're going to use real medicine packages, but ones that are not for sale. This lets everyone test the scanning, the verification, and the deactivation process in a totally safe, simulated environment, working out any little kinks before the official launch. And just look who's involved. This is not some small-scale test. We're talking about major players from across the entire chain, pharmaceutical giants like Pfizer and Sanofi, logistics experts like DHL, major wholesalers, and even a diverse mix of pharmacies, from big city locations to small rural ones. Plus, NGOs like the Banco Pharmaceutico Foundation are in on it too. This kind of comprehensive collaboration is absolutely key to making sure the system is rock solid. So, the big question is, what does this all mean for you?
Let's look at the official timeline for when these changes are actually going to become a part of your everyday life.
All right, you can mark your calendars. Starting February 9th, 2025, manufacturers have to start putting these new safety features on their packaging. But there's going to be a 2-year transitional period to allow all the existing stock to move through the system. This just means you'll probably see a mix of old and new packages for a little while, with the full system, including that mandatory deactivation at the pharmacy, becoming fully effective by February 9th, 2027.
And you know, this quote just nails the ultimate goal. This isn't just about cool barcodes and databases. As the regulation itself says, it's about one thing: verifying the authenticity of every single medicine to make sure that what you receive is genuine and, most importantly, safe. It's truly a fundamental leap forward for patient safety.
So this new system creates a secure digital fingerprint for every medicine box. It's an incredibly powerful tool for building trust and ensuring safety. But it also gets you thinking, right? Now that this digital link exists, what other innovations could it spark? What is the next frontier for using technology to make healthcare even safer for all of us?